Okay, so when I first heard about this Yamaha TAG3 TransAcoustic guitar, I thought it was kind of a gimmick. I'm like, how can anything have a looper built in and delay and reverb and chorus and sound any good in the room or recorded? And I was pretty much completely wrong and blown away. This is a guitar-centered video, and when I watched this and read the comments, I changed my mind quickly. So check this out.
First off, here's my sound completely dry with no reverb. Now we'll check out the default setting for hall reverb with the mix knob right up at about 60%.
I'll pause it and come back to that reverb section. So this video from Guitar Center is pretty awesome. I'm going to go through the reverb, the chorus, the delay, you get to the interface, and the looper, which is, you can see by the little bars down there, it's the most replayed section of the video. But I'll go back to the very beginning and check out a little quick part of the looper. Ready?
Hey everyone, Brandon from Yamaha, and I'm here today with my friends from Guitar Center checking out the TAG3C from our line of TransAcoustic guitars.
So there's a sunburst version and a natural version. There may be more, and if I escape here, check out the comments right here. As you scroll down, this guy got his natural version the week of the release and basically says the effects are simply addictive and I can't put it down. The looper sold me. A looper without plugging in. One killer comment after the other, and clearly no one thought it was a gimmick. And some people here own it. Some people, just hoping that they could get it. But when I saw the comments, I was like, man, I thought people were going to be trashing this thing. And sure enough, they, like me, were pretty amazed by it. And so as I go back to full screen mode here, the little circle, see a little circle on the top right of that natural one right there, that's what you tap to start the looper. So you, I think it auto, they talk about it in a minute, it'll auto record, so you don't have to tap anything to start. You just start playing, it'll auto record, and as soon as you tap that on the one beat, it just kicks in the loop. And what was impressive to me is the looper, or the original sound, was very stereo. You saw he had two mics going on right there. The loop itself goes down to mono. So that was one, there's two knocks on it that I would say from what I've seen. Besides price, it's well over, $1,000 that I'll talk about in this video. There's two things, and one of them is the stereo-ness of it. It sounds very stereo at the beginning, but it looks like the loops are not a deal killer, but it's not too bad. Check this out. I'm going to play a little bit about how he talks about the guitar first to set it up, and then we're going to go through delay, reverb, and that big loop section in the middle.
Chorus, and as we'll see today, some other exciting things like delay or even looping. We first released TransAcoustic guitars in 2016 and have been developing them ever since then to get better sounds, higher fidelity, and more flexibility with what the user can do. TAG3C is the ultimate version of TransAcoustic technology. Artist feedback has always been an important part of Yamaha's process. And when we released the first generation of TransAcoustic guitars, the main thing was that artists loved them and thought they were extremely cool and unique. And the feedback tended to be that they would love more flexibility, different effects, more control over the effects, essentially taking everything you would want out of a fully functional pedal board and putting it directly into an instrument.
So that's the big part here. I played one of the original ones of these, and it was really cool. It was actually, again, the reverb was really good and spacious and cool, and the guitar itself sounded great. That's one of the big things about this. You don't want to just get a guitar with a bunch of effects, but the actual tone, they hide or bury bad tone. This thing was a super, I mean, it should be for over $1,000, a really nice acoustic guitar with nothing. But once you added the effects, it was really nice. But I agree, it was very limited, and this was before the looper. So let's check out a little bit more about the reverb. Let's skip to the next part. He gives it that hall or that room reverb.
And last but not least, here's the default setting for plate reverb with the mix knob at 60%.
Love how he pops it there so you can really hear it. If you've never played an acoustic guitar with effects, it's a lot of fun. I mean, most people just think I just need a little bit of reverb and maybe chorus, but when you have delay, it opens up a bunch of cool possibilities. And where I think this thing really started to blow me away in thinking of how and when I could use it, I'm like, every time I go somewhere with friends or family, and I've wanted to play guitar, especially acoustic guitar, and maybe even do looping, I've had to take a guitar amplifier and chords and my looper pedal, or maybe it was the Fender Mustang GTX and had the built-in looper, but it still had a foot switch. And if you wanted to go in stereo, you had to have two different speakers, MP3, not Bluetooth speakers, and run lines to it and all that stuff. And you can wow people, and they're like, whoa, look at him looping. But just to pick this up, picture going to a campfire and playing this thing and just, you're there and people are going, what the heck? It's one guitar. It got a whole band going on right there. So I'll skip the reverb here, and he'll show you the controls in a minute. Let's see what he's doing right here before we go on to the chorus. I know what he did. He spaced out the hall reverb real wide.
Now let's dive into the chorus section of the TAG3C. So here's my dry signal with no chorus at all. And now here are the default settings of the 4-voice chorus with the mix knob at 75%. %. My favorite thing about the double detune feature is how extreme you can get it to go. So here's the double detune chorus completely maxed out with 20 cents above and 20 cents below my original signal. This type of setting doesn't work quite as well for chords, but sounds really awesome for solo tones and for single lines. A really exciting feature.
I've never been that excited about chorus to that depth right there, but it's cool that you can do it. Cool that it works, and you can see it sounds really nice. So let's check out the delay. This thing was pretty impressive. Let's watch.
And now here's the default setting of simple delay with the mix knob up at 50%. This delay feature is super useful from the player perspective, especially when you consider the delay knob that functions as a tap tempo. Here's analog delay with the mix knob up at 50%.
Pretty similar, but I think he maxes it out. Let's see.
Let's take a look at the interface on the side of the guitar.
This is cool. Check this out. Little, very simple use right here.
Center, you have a power button that turns the guitar on or off. You get 4 knobs, and we can go through these knobs' primary and secondary functions. To the left, you have a reverb mix knob. Pretty simple. You turn it up, and there's more reverb mixed into your signal. Turn it down, and you get less reverb mixed into your signal. The top knob is also a mix signal, but for delay. Same concept. Turn it up for more delay, turn it down for less. And this is the knob that also functions as a tap tempo. The knob to the right is a chorus mix knob. Again, the same thing. You turn it up to get more chorus in your signal, turn it down for less chorus. The top knob, in addition to being a tap tempo, is also access to a built-in tuner. Simply hold down this knob and the tuner function will appear. The bottom knob can be held down to enter into Bluetooth pairing mode to connect your device. And the bottom knob is your loop volume knob. So once you've set a loop, you can turn the knob up to get more volume out of the loop, or you can turn it down to make the loop quieter. Speaking of the looper, the secondary function of this bottom knob is to arm the looper mode. So you simply press the knob once and you'll see a white light appear. This tells you that you're now in looper mode. The secondary function of the leftmost knob is play and record. If I press it once, I'll see flashing red, which means the looper is now armed to record. And then once I start playing, the light turns solid red, telling me I'm now recording a loop. When you're done with that layer, all you have to do is touch this surface on the top of the guitar, the circle right there, and it'll automatically start looping that first layer. From there,
really, this is amazing. Look, it's got everything. Tap tempo, got a tuner built in, all that kind of stuff. It looks like they really did a great job with this thing. Let's hear the looper in action, right?
Of layers.
All right, really cool. That's one of the first things I notice here is you can control the loop volume. I think his loop volume is a little bit low right there. If you turned it up, it'd probably sound better. But it immediately went from a stereo sound down to a mono. That's not a deal killer, like I said, but it's like I'm you know, when you play these from the first one I played, you get this wide kind of stereo vibe going on. And so if the loop goes mono, it's just going to feel a little bit like, you know, confined. Then again, your solo, when you add some more chorus and delay and all that, will sound bigger and wider. So I wish both of them were still very stereo. So that's one of my only real 2 knocks on this thing. Another one is very polarizing for people. Also, you can change the effects later. So you can record an initial thing with no delay or anything like that, no chorus, no reverb if you wanted to, and then add that stuff later on without affecting the first loop. That's a big deal for loopers, of course. Let's see what else we got here.
Function also works with the looper, and it's global. So that means that you can take your entire loop you've set and put all of it in one distinct space with that reverb.
So you use it as acoustic, what do you call it? Like a cajon, you know, just getting that nice acoustic, percussive acoustic going. But again, it sounds a little quiet. I think you could turn it up and have the sort of percussion drum going louder. I mean, look, it's just like pretty much everything you want in a looper right there with just a finger and a tap. So that was cool.
The looper, and then I can practice on top of that. So right now I've got the looper armed. I've tap tempoed the delay to a tempo that I like, and I can set up a metronome like this.
How's this? Do you ever think about using it for practice? You just create your own metronome using the looper. I never thought of using a looper pedal for that kind of purpose. That is really cool. And then they got Bluetooth, and guess what you can do? You can hook your phone to it and play your backing tracks through this. Check this out. Look at that. That sound is going from his phone via Bluetooth into the guitar, and the music is coming out of the guitar. No speakers needed. That's so wild. Again, the question is, how stereo is it or not? And then they talk about their undersaddle pickup and then the remote app. Let's see real quick. I'll show you that fast.
For analog delay, and we can see how our tap tempo is affecting the app settings. Swipe over once more to see the reverb settings. This is where you'll find hall, room, or plate reverb options. In the bottom left corner of the app, you can access the looper page. This gives you control over your different overdub modes, your tap sensitivity for the touch surface on the top of the guitar, and this is where you'll find 10 slots for pre-saved loops. The bottom.
Oh my gosh, pre-saved loops. That is insane. Where are they stored? Are they stored in the guitar? I know the guitar has a computer in it. I guess they are. I guess that they're stored in there. That is crazy. Okay, so I'm going to see if they got an explanation of the last problem. I don't think they do. Let me hit play on this and I'll tell you what the last problem is, which a lot of people are complaining about.
This is a guitar that can really be a Swiss Army knife. It can be your one solid acoustic guitar. It can be an effect-driven creative tool. Knowing where that sound was coming from and then seeing their reactions when they figured out it was coming out of a guitar was really special. I think it speaks to just how cool of an instrument this is and how much you can do with it.
Okay, I was trying to find something here. It's the power. It has its own unique proprietary power cable right there. So it's not USB-C, which has become the industry standard. So you have to get, it's got like two little, diodes or whatever you call it on it. And it's not that long. And so if you want to plug this in while you're performing live, I think you're really limited by the length. And also, again, it's not USB. So if it breaks, what do? I guess you got to call Yamaha and get a new one right there. So that is a problem. And a lot of people are like, if I have to order another $30 cable from you, or a $50 6-footer or 12-footer or whatever like that. So I think the next version of this, they ought to make it full stereo and have a USB-C with the option of just using your own mega 10-foot long cable if you want to. That way maybe you can play and charge at the same time at a gig without being limited by a short cable. All right, I'm going to play it out here in this last part and let's see what he's got up his sleeve.
If you want to learn more about the Yamaha TAG3C, visit guitarcenter.com, contact one of their expert gear advisors, or pop into your local GC to check it out in person.